You're watching GSTV.
And all right, welcome everybody to episode 4 or 5. Five of the Goblin and The Ghoul podcast. I am your host, Thomas, aka Young Gas Station, and I am joined here with my illustrious hosts, Zach and Eli, and our guest, Josh. Looking forward to tonight's conversation. How is everyone doing?
Good. I'm doing great, man. Honestly, day before Thanksgiving, I have not worked really at all this week. We were remote this week just because everyone's holiday travel and everything. So it has been very, very non-existent. I hope no one from my job sees this, by the way.
Yeah, I'll address the elephant in the room. I am in my car recording in a Starbucks parking lot in Boulder City, Nevada. I think it's really called. City. Yeah, have you heard of that place, Josh?
Boulder. Well, I lived in Vegas for a while. Where is it in association between Vegas and?
It's
how far is it from Vegas?
25 minutes southeast of Vegas.
Okay.
It's actually home of the Hoover Dam. You might have heard of it.
Oh, well, I've been there then. Yeah, that was crazy.
It's a small little town. They've got smoke shops. They've got the Albertsons. It's a pretty cool place.
T, are you staying at the Hoover Dam Inn again?
I really wanted to, but we're staying with Maxine's host family. They actually moved us there at a wedding, and they were like, "You guys are to come back for Thanksgiving." We're like, "Sure, can we bring our dog Scruffy?" And she said, "Yeah." So,
fuck yeah. What's it? Boulder City. That's awesome.
Man, I lived in not in Las Vegas for a while, but what's the area called? Green Valley. Green Valley Ranch.
I haven't heard of it.
It's one of the Green Valley Ranch. It's a casino. I'm trying to think where Henderson. Henderson's like the big area out there. It's a suburb. So Green Valley is just a little area. I played a lot of roulette out there. That what's that? I'm sorry. But yeah, the Green Valley Ranch. It's a nice place. It's off the.
Josh, what do you have a roulette number?
Number 9.
Number always. 9. That's the one.
Cover the zeros, though. Cover the zeros.
So, Josh, I'd love to get more of your kind of backstory. I know Eli met you through some farming stuff that I'd love to get into, but you want to give a brief kind of overview of maybe how you got to Indiana, what was happening?
Yeah, especially too, because before we started recording, he was talking. It seems like he has been all over the map and lived in a lot of cool places. So I definitely want to hear some of that.
Take your time. We got all the time in the world here.
Oh man, well, I'm from Indiana, so I grew up, and where we are right now is my family's farm, and my family they're like we're like old farm pioneers from Virginia through Tennessee, and they came here in 1825. So this is my family's name is Chitwood, so it's an old farm family name out here. Then my great grandparents to the, I guess, eighth generation back, they had 20 kids, so like they had 20 kids, and like half of them were little Chitwood men. So it's funny. There's 3 million Chitwoods out here in the country. So that's pretty much what's going on. But we're on this land that's been in the family for a while, and I'm on 5 acres that surrounds my grandpa's house. My grandpa died in I don't know, like 10 years ago, and so I'm on this, and we made a little farm out of it. And yeah, man. And my answer, well, I can't remember, what was the original question?
Just kind of your life story, just kind of where you've been.
So I'm from my family. So always where I am now is kind of where I came as a kid to play, on the weekends, because my great grandfather lived here, and my great grandfather inherited the land from his 2 brothers, and so he was the 3rd son, which is funny, right? So I mean, I would have never even been on this land, but his 2 brothers, they just didn't get married or have families. They just lived here, and not in this house, but the house just next to ours, until they died and left it to him. And so he moved here. Then my grandpa moved into this house. My grandpa built the house we're in right now. And I moved in and started smoking lots of weed later.
Yeah.
But then you went to high school in Louisiana, right?
So my stepdad is an air traffic controller.
Okay.
And he got a job at the New Orleans airport. And we moved down there when I was in high school. And so that's kind of where and then my mother lives across the road from us now. So when they retired, they were actually living in Reno. He was in like the Reno airport. And when they retired, they built their house that's across the road here now.
So when this is happening, are there people at the homestead, like in this area right now, kind of holding it down, or?
Well, my great grandpa lived here and then he died. Then my great grandpa owned 320 acres out here. And then he had 3 sons and he split it between his 3 sons. And my grandpa owned 100 and whatever 10 acres that is. That's where we're on right now. And so my mom's cousin, he's managed to basically buy most of it. So other than what my mom owns a little bit, 50 some odd acres plus my mom owns like 50 some 60 acres, which includes what we're on now. And then he basically owns the rest. So he's a grandson of, the guy we're talking about. So
was there ever any drama when it comes to splitting up of the lands? I feel like once you get property involved in names and wills, things can get a little squirrely.
Well, legally, no, it's always been the way it is. And it's kind of cool too that my uncle has the original deed on the wall up there. I think originally it's like 200 and some acres, and my great grandfather inherited 320 acres, so they bought separate pieces.
When you say original, like how old?
From Andrew Jackson has signed it.
The Homestead Act, bro.
Yeah.
No way. There's actual Andrew Jackson signature on there.
Yeah, it's on the wall in my uncle's house.
No shit.
Yeah, dude. Right, for sure.
That's so fucking cool.
But like the only thing that's a little bit that I know of is my great grandfather was the 3rd son, of his father was the eldest son. But when he inherited the land, his sister was still alive too. And she was younger than him. But you see what I mean? All this bullshit we're talking about, men, women, younger, and like who gets what. So
it's a hierarchy. There's like heirs to the throne. Yeah.
She asked for a piece. She asked for a taste, and he told her no. and I know that's all I've ever heard of. Everything else is just people buying and selling what they own.
Now, reason it was no, was that just like solely because she was a woman?
I just, it's just how it is, man. He just was.
Of course.
No, I mean, I inherited it from my brothers, and it's mine. That's just. I wasn't there for the conversation. I mean, these are 9. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know when all that. I just know that there was something said, and that she wasn't happy, and I could see her point, and I just know what happened, and so he was a quiet man, so I'm sure he didn't explain himself to her. He just said no, and that's how that was, and I don't know why.
And so I've told them a little bit about your background, Josh, because I know you've had a lot of different jobs. I want to get into some of the Detroit stories eventually, but is the most recent thing before you moved back here and started doing the farm, was it the Shark Tank business? Is that the most recent thing?
Yep.
Okay. And what
McClure
can you tell
Bros.
people like what the Shark Tank business was? And then I have a bunch of questions about like how you got on there and how that went.
Well, it was called McClary Bros Drinking Vinegars, and it's not in business anymore. But it's out of Detroit. What we did is we took. Let me just give you one flavor. Basically, we would take cranberries. Let's say we'd smash them up. Like really frozen cranberries is how you buy cranberries, but really high quality cranberries. Sometimes we get organic cranberries. Mix them with vinegar, sugar, blend them up, aged it for a while. Then you strain it out, and you have like a vinegary. It's like an old-fashioned way of flavoring. So now that you strain it out, it's going to last for basically ever. The vinegar is going to basically stabilize it and make it shelf stable. And it's called a shrub. If you ever heard the word shrub, it's an old-fashioned. And so you would do that with vinegar and your fruit from the summer. So we made like a cocktail mixer out of it. And at the same time, it became really popular to take vinegar for health. And I am really reluctant to get into the health business. So we ventured into the cocktail. Like I focused on the cocktails, but I mean, I sold lots of vinegar to people that thought it was going to save their lives. I mean, it's going to like take, I mean, seriously, it's sad, but people that were very overweight would be like, now I take this vinegar and it's gonna like do what? I'm like, I don't know like that. But it tastes, I would do so. It's funny, man. If I was, there was a lot, like lots of money to be
You
made.
could have grifted into it a little more. You're saying you could have
Oh,
really.
you can go. It's there now. Go to the market. Go to the market. It's all this vinegar health, vinegar tonics, and vinegar shots. And I knew it was coming. I can't get behind it, but I can get behind flavors from the summer that we've preserved with vinegar without any and actually, I can make shrubs with honey, some vinegar, and some watermelon. And those are just all things that you can make at home, and you can preserve this cool like cocktail mixer. And then if you didn't have lemons, it would take the place of the citrus in your drink. It's still cool to have citrus, of course. But if you don't, and the original use of shrubs, they would put it in their water to like make it safe, and sterile. And then of course, for flavoring.
Okay.
So,
And
yeah,
then, so
it's very just almost and so, but it is like it was already a standard cocktail mixer. So like a real shishi bartender's already kind of got it, and I didn't even know that, of course. And I just was like, okay. So we started going after those people. So it's kind of a perfect storm of people were interested in old fashioned things, cocktails were on the rise, but then people wanted to like the health tonic thing.
So was it sold as just like a straight up liquid and like, hey, just like mix this in with your cocktails, like with the ice and stuff like that? Like this is your mixer, basically, like a concentrate almost.
Our main thing was a 16-ounce glass bottle, and we would say, like mix an ounce of this, our drinking vinegar, with 2 ounces of whiskey, and you could even mix a little sparkling water in there, and it's sweet, so you don't need simple syrup, but you can add a little simple syrup, and it's a kind of a cool, like tangy. Have you ever had sour beer?
Yeah.
So like people that like sour beer tend to like, they're called shrub cocktails, like any cocktail with this kind of a vinegar in it. And then if you don't, you just don't. It's kind of like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
sure.
I don't like IPAs at all, and people love them. And so like, they're very popular, but I love sour beer, and some people think they smell like, feet. And so it's, so it's just, but they're pretty cool.
So you guys start this and it drives enough revenue to get attention. You guys end up getting on Shark Tank. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah. And Detroit is a very, busy place, and people are hustling. And at the time, there was a lot of attention in the media for Detroit, and there was a casting call from Shark Tank, and they said they were looking for a Detroit food business. And we were in Food Lab, local food, just like the local food movement group. Like everybody knew each other. So pretty much everybody went up on stage, and my wife went out and did her little pitch. It was probably a 2-minute pitch. And then it was just one more step until, but we were like treating it like trying to get an A+ on the final exam through every step. It was like lots of financial information, lots of this, that, and telling them. We did a video, we had to produce a like 1-minute video, and she did it. She was like delivering her, hey guys, and all that stuff,
Yeah. When about did you guys get started with this? Like, it sounds like you had some experience from it. Did you learn how to make these shrubs growing up, or was it something you kind of got into like as a hobby? How did that start?
She was in culinary school at the time, and we had actually already started a little bakery, and you can cook at home and do certain things. So we had literally turned our dining room. I fucking tell you this stuff. I forgot this stuff. We turned our dining room into a bakery, installed an oven. I had a 20-quart mixer in there, and we were making like thousands of scones out of our tiny.
Was that legal? Did you have a license for that?
No, dude, it's legal. It's legal.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, I don't know. We were taking it to the edge, but it's legal to sell certain things directly to the public, like scones, if it doesn't need to be
rabbit, right? Or like
shelf stable, huh? No, that's totally different. This is like baking. You can do this here too. Like you can make bread and sell it to the public. You can't make pie because that needs to stay in the fridge, but you can make things that you can make jam, oddly enough. And these are like old farm things you're allowed to take straight to the market. So we were selling tons of these scones, basically, other things, but lots of scones. And she came into this shrub idea because it became she started looking into other things we could do without a license. And then we found this, what's that? We found the shrub idea in terms of like looking for things we could do without a license. And then we realized it was becoming popular again with cocktail mixers. And so we ended up like, we got a license to do it at a local bakery that was actually a bakery, and so we had a license to manufacture and put things in stores. And then we went from there and we got in with this nonprofit that had a, commercial kitchen. And so when Shark Tank came knocking, we were already kind of doing some cool stuff. We were at this place.
This sounds like the Shark Tank pitch was super competitive. Like you said, every single food company in the area was, gunning for it. So did they select one? Like how did that work out? And how do you guys get weeded out from everybody else? Like that seems pretty intense.
I will say, my wife is pretty solid. I mean, she's just like really good at boom, 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 boom. And, she'll deliver whatever she, prepares, she's going to deliver it. And so she just worked it out. And we had a pretty good idea. It's like, it's just at the time it was very popular to, I'm sorry, let me think. Like the natural health thing was happening.
Yeah.
It was like really popular in cocktails. So we kind of hit it at the right moment. And she did a very good pitch. And I think maybe one or two other people probably moved forward at the time. I really can't remember, but it's very easy to not take it seriously. And I will tell you, the very first thing they tell you is like after maybe a phone pitch, they want you to send them a video. And they said something like, oh, just, do your best. And we hired a guy, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
Oh, thank you, honey. I love you. So like we hired some guy out of Ann Arbor who was like in film school, and he did a knockout job. And we went to the facility, like clipped in a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? It was like a little 1 minute, like real commercial for the company. And it looked great. So every time, we did that.
I was gonna say, so you do that, you submit your video, and you guys get selected out of the bunch, right? And then you get chosen to actually go on and go present on TV.
Well, you go record. I don't know if you know about that. So they bring you out, and you have to pay a bunch of stuff, by the way.
Oh, really?
Well,
Okay.
Let me tell you this. I mean it like this. It's expensive because they bring you out. She stays at some hotel and everything else. But like all the stuff you see from the company, you send that out. You know what I mean? Like your display. So I remember it cost $2,000 to send all the stuff, like literally in just shipping, so you're already kind of spending money on stuff that's like incidentals to them. I mean, they are putting her up posh motel. Like it was like a week. So she's out there for a week, and like, gosh, she was out there for a while, maybe not a week, but it's there a while. And then they do the pitch, they record it. And of all those people that go out and pitch, maybe half of them literally get on TV. So like there's half the people that never go on TV and they went out there. So,
Wait, do people get deals who weren't on TV?
I believe they do. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I think if you get a deal, maybe it's probably pretty good TV, but I mean, and then all the other thing is half the deals you see on TV don't happen. So half of the deals fall through too.
Right. There's probably like a signing phase after they agree, right? That goes into they get lawyers involved, this, that, and the other thing probably.
I mean, everybody has the right to back out, and they just, for whatever reason, they say that tonight, oh yeah, we're going to do it. And then, it is a very straightforward process.
Yeah, I'm sure also being on TV, especially if, you're someone that's nervous. I feel like if you're a business owner, it could be something you're easily inclined to accept maybe. And then you realize, oh, I actually didn't want to do that. But Mark Cuban was talking cute, and I really wanted that in the moment. I don't know.
I would imagine it's mostly the sharks killing the deal.
You think so? That's probably more. That's probably.
I don't remember much about it. I just remember that knowing that like once you said, oh yeah, we got a deal, then now we literally have to work out a deal, So you know how that goes. Like deals cannot work out, but probably the person with the power is killing the deal mostly.
Okay. So Cuban was there when you guys gave your pitch?
Well, I wasn't there, but when my wife gave it, yeah, he was there.
Damn.
She had a long, and that's the other thing. they talk for like an hour.
Yeah.
You know, so like she's standing there going numbers. They're like going over it. She loved him. You know, she thought he was cool.
Did you guys make the IU connection or the Bloomington connection?
I didn't go.
Or did she do that? Like, or was that just like, because I know he's a sucker for that kind of thing.
I know we thought about it, but the deal is, if you go, I mean, there's a lot of drama on running a business with your wife, and you want to keep that behind the scenes. And I tend to yell, and and so like we had a very turbulent relationship during that time, and we were like trying to make decisions constantly about our business that was growing and approaching like $500,000 really fast. So we're like, let's try to, what do we do next? And like so I knew if they got us on Shark Tank together, that someone would dig into like, you know how they do that? They make you look like fools.
Yeah.
Your wife start arguing on national television. You know what I mean? You're like with your wife and you're like, oh no, what'd you say? No, you never said that. And they do, they smell it, dude. They'll. So I was like, I knew my wife would deliver a good pitch. She was the CEO. And I knew she wouldn't be able to overcome objections. That's my job. But if I was there, they would have a real opportunity at making us look like giant assholes. And I did not want that to be on the table.
That's absolutely. You're just, assessing just risk versus benefit right there.
Yeah.
You made a business decision.
Let me tell you something. If you would have had a video camera in our office every evening after the employees left and we're screaming about money and all this, but I've seen that. Haven't you seen that on Shark Tank where they're like breaking down and like yelling at each other or just like, no one likes that. And no one, and I told her, this is how terrible I am. She called me right after and she's crying. Okay. And I go, did they get you on camera crying, honey? I was like, please tell me they did. And they did, if you watch it. And I was like,
wow.
I was like, no, but I was like, I told you, because she told me what happened. And I was like, it sounds great. I was like, you did your best or whatever, but she was mad that she didn't get the deal. And I literally, I explained to her on the phone, in my recollection, that I didn't think she was going to get the deal if it came to what it came to, because she would have needed me there. But if I told her that, if I was there, they would have gotten this. They'd have been like, what do you think, Josh? What do you think, Jess? And they'd have said it enough till you've seen that, right? It's horrible.
Oh, yeah. Especially Cuban loves to do that.
We had
dude.
money
They love
problems
to really
already.
grill into people.
We had serious money problems. I mean, we were running it's like they always act like, oh, yeah, how you doing? Oh, we have no debt. Oh, and you make it these. I mean, we're grinding it out. Life's horrible. And we're faking it. So you make it, give us some money, please.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck do you think I'm on this show in the first place?
And they're like, yeah, you're going to have to educate the people and market to them. I'm like, well, you're right. That's why we're here. And if you give me the money, that will happen. If you don't, it will be more difficult. But I don't know. It wasn't a lot of money we were looking for. I probably would have burned through that so fast. It was like $150,000. So.
Okay. And then you have to explain to the people, Josh, you do Shark Tank. You've been in the business world at a lot of different levels. And then what you're doing now and sort of like, why I don't even really know the answer to this. And I can pick it up from our interactions over the last like 7 or 8 months. But why did you decide I'm going to be what you are now? And I guess you could start with like, what do you do now? And how did you get there from where you were?
And also, Eli, I'd like to add on to that, how you guys got intertwined as well, because I don't know the answer to that one.
Oh, he posted on Reddit and I hit him up and showed up on a Sunday at 7 a.m.
For post on Reddit for what?
Just kind of like, I have this farm. I'm learning to be like a homesteader. I need labor because it's a shitload of work and I'm basically by myself.
We'll explain it.
Yeah.
I have
Okay. Perfect. Okay, cool.
How long are we talking, fellas? Let's.
We're going nowhere,
At least
dude.
an hour.
This is my only plan for the night.
I'm gonna need to smoke a little weed and level it up. Explain it.
Yeah, dude.
But for the one deal is like, here's what I can tell you. I mean, we're all chasing money around the loop, right? Around the sphere, I call it, right?
Yeah.
And I did it a few times. Got on Shark Tank. And I've been literally bankrupt twice trying to be a big shot. And I was like, I'm from this farm family. My grandpa died. His house was sitting here after my mother rented it to some people and we booted him out. They were terrible. And they destroyed the house. And I had always wanted to move here. We had tried before. We tried to build a house here. It just didn't work out. And anyways, we decided to come out here, and I was like, dude, I'm going to. And I had realized long ago, and long story short, our food system is terribly broken. And I knew that already coming into it. And I was not in great condition. I was smoking tobacco at the time. I don't anymore. And I was like not that much overweight because I was working a lot, but I was not in great shape. I wasn't feeling good. Anyways, I came out here and I just decided I'm going to make my own food. I'm going to make my own food because that's what I eat. And I was like, what am I going to make and sell? You know what I mean? And like, I've got this land, and I kind of had a head start because I had done some research. And there's a guy named Joel Salatin out there that's been teaching people for years. And I had gone to his farm, checked it out, and I have studied permaculture. It's another idea of how to like connect nature together. And so anyways, I've been here for over 4 years, kind of working on it. And I realized early on that I had to do this without gas. And this is before the pandemic. So I was like, I just don't believe in gas. I know gas isn't going to be around. It's terrible. And I realized pretty quick that, it was like the reliance on gas is what's making my fat ass.
Hold on. One quick anecdote. Josh said to me one time, and we decided that on his tombstone, it's going to say, at least I didn't get exploded, because he's very scared of gasoline. So we avoid using gasoline, like in ways where there's a lot of what you do or what we do that, with gas powered technology, it'd be a lot easier, right? Another quick thing, like you cut down these fields with a scythe. Yeah. Like you don't use a tractor or a lawnmower, use a fucking scythe, like the Grim Reaper scythe to clear fields.
Right. And this is easy because I'll tell you why, guys.
It's easy.
My family moved here in 1825, and this place was
it's in your blood. You're bred for this shit, dude.
No, but I'm gonna explain to you how you are too. It was covered in trees, and that were so big around, two men couldn't grasp hands, and they cut the trees down themselves with no gas. And so like if I started now, I could never be as badass as they were. And then I'm like looking at my grandpa who was in World War II and like looking at pictures of him, and he was like a little animal, he was like, he had like ripped muscles and shit, you know what I mean? Like, like his wrestling picture from high school is just, he was an animal. And they just grew up eating farm food, and I knew that, but like 40% of all American families were farmers like 100 years ago, was it, Eli?
Yeah. Like
so like we're all from, so I'm like, I can be better. I can do this. And I'm like, we got here without the gas. That's the good news. So I know it's true. I literally know it's true. So the gas, then the money I realized was making us silly. And so I finally realized I had to find a way to communicate and connect with people without money, and find a way for us to see that we could work together on this farm without paying each other, and it's like, and then we're going to get into a big conversation about, land use.
Interesting.
And witchcraft.
Yeah, of course, witchcraft. Yeah, it's a real tight rope you got to walk. God, that is. Go ahead, T.
Nope. I refuse.
I was gonna say that's such a tightrope you have to walk. Where like, hey, money's not gonna matter, but like, because I have everything I need to sustain myself right here. Like, we own the land. Like,
money's okay, and I like money, but we're talking about food, and I think we need to separate out food from everything else we do. And I know that because 40% of us were in the food business like 100 years ago, and now none of percent of us are. And like 40% of us are literally clinically obese in this country, or on target to be. And I know those numbers are connected. So we left the farm. Now we're sick, and we're making dumb decisions, and we're burning down the future. So my thinking is, why don't we spend some time getting back to the farm? But I think that it's crazy to think that we're going to all get back to the farm. We have to find a way to like be smart about it. And I just think connecting through food, like Eli and I are having a great time, man. And he comes out and we do things that, like, I don't know, man. It's great to have this connection through food. That's how we're built. We work together. We have the exact same interest in the food. You know what I mean? And so, The other option was I pay people to come here and work for me, and I hope I pay them enough. I never can pay them enough because I'm trying to hold on to as much of that money as it's like a very bad system. It's a very bad system. And it was devised 5,000 years ago by ancient, Bronze Age shepherds. And just like religion, and it's like, here we are passing this idea around money. And I'm not saying that we should just burn money down because that would be problematic. But I do think we need to kind of we have to retool food altogether.
So Eli, you're getting compensated for this work and like fresh food and stuff like that that's being grown from the farm primarily.
Oh yeah, I mean,
in the future, that's the interest.
Hell yeah.
We put together the same work today, and the future is ours together.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
No, and during the growing season this summer, I could leave with as much food as I wanted pretty much I mean, he's throwing food at me. I mean, there's so many parts of it that are so clearly beneficial.
Hell yeah.
One of the biggest messages is it's like 5.5 acres that he has. And what is actually you're growing and using animals for? What would you say? 3 of it, 2.5?
I think, we probably have like an acre with the trees on it right now. But I mean, yeah, we probably are growing food maybe on an acre of it now.
And it's a shitload of food and can be so much more. And we just built these caterpillar houses or hoop houses.
Caterpillar tunnels.
Which are, everybody's seen them Yeah, of course. Everybody has seen those, like driving along the farmland in the country. It's those like plastic houses that are basically, it's another way to modify the climate. And, even now in the winter, we're going to be growing a shitload of food that will be ready earlier in the summer, really the springtime to harvest. So yeah, I get out of it knowledge. Josh is fucking hilarious. I bring a couple of our friends every time. So that's always really fun. And it's a good workout almost every time. And then fresh food that this dude basically only uses rainwater and the animals he has to provide nutrients to all the food that he grows. It's not like you're just cranking on the hose that's connected to a bunch of watering systems that you're taking water from the city.
I'm working on it, but I still do take it from our local lake.
Yeah.
But we're working on systems for
what food do you guys grow? I keep hearing food, but give me some specifics.
We grow tomatoes. We grow lots of garlic. We grow world-class garlic. We grow lots of eggs. We got 8 baby pigs. One's a lady today. I'll tell you. We'll get around to that story.
Yeah.
We have a boy. We have a mom and a dad pig. The pigs have been awful today. Lots of sexual misconduct. But,
the pigs are being pigs?
Yeah. Dude.
No. Chickens. Peppers. We grow pretty much everything.
Dude, you grow everything.
We grow a little bit of everything, but those are things we grow in corn,
herbs,
sweet corn,
sunflowers.
We are in
lots of
Indiana.
sunflowers.
Gotta grow.
We did a huge sunflower crop this year, and I got a huge sunflower seed from that. So that was kind of what that was for. And then I got a big, not a big, but a nice crop of garlic, very good garlic. So Eli and I planted garlic that will grow for a little bit now, and then it'll go dormant, and it'll be ready in June. And we call that overwintering. And we wanted to overwinter a lot. That was kind of what we started, but it didn't rain enough. So we got some cool stuff in, but I'm kind of sad that the rain just stopped us from a lot of our we still did cool stuff, but we couldn't put onions in and garlic and potatoes. So
I mean, you also grew a ton of watermelon,
a
bunch of different squash,
ridiculous amounts of watermelon. No one wants the watermelon after a time. I mean, it's cucumbers,
okra,
and then pumpkins. I donated a bunch of pumpkins to the local school. I worked there, but the PTA, I can't be like, oh yeah, you guys owe me $300. It's ridiculous.
That's funny. No, Josh, when you were talking and you were saying about getting back on the farm and kind of connecting people's experience with food. I mean, I was just thinking, what an ample topic for Thanksgiving. I mean, it really just sounded like a real freaking getting together of people and food. And I don't know, there was something about the way you put getting back to the farm, like almost metaphorically, we could all learn and do a little bit, right? Even if it's just eating more organic or going to get more foods that are, grown not on a freaking lab or whatever the hell food comes from in grocery stores. I still don't understand it. And,
Yeah. Well, it's hard to understand.
yeah, it's very confusing. I still don't know why you can go to bumfuck nowhere and there's dozens of groceries, fresh produce and stuff. I guess there's huge farms that ship that shit in, but to me, the logistics just have never.
Gasoline, my friend. You can.
All back to gasoline. Big gas. Back at it again.
That's right.
Amen.
Oh, man. It's actually a great point, though. So, what does Thanksgiving look like at the Josh household, and how do you guys make that happen?
This is really funny.
Well, we don't like to do nothing on Thanksgiving because we work our asses off to eat every other day of the year. So we're going to Buca de Beppo tomorrow.
Okay.
In Greenwood, Indiana, baby. And we are going to eat there.
That's what I'm talking about. That's so funny.
Yeah.
I always wonder who the people are that go out to eat on Thanksgiving. And
you know what's funny? You can't imagine how hard I work to feed these. Like well, I've been working on the idea of bulk food too. So I do a lot of trying to figure out. I make a lot of burritos, and that the kids like burritos, but I'm a little bit against flour tortillas. But I eat them, and the kids love it. So I can put a lot of healthy stuff inside a burrito and get kids to eat it. So, anyways, I'm working on bulk food all the time, and I don't know. That's kind of what I'm doing.
I hear you.
Nice.
And so we're always cooking, and so my wife, and she works hard too, but like literally when Thanksgiving comes around, it's like, I don't want to cook. I want to enjoy it like everybody else. Plus I do all the dishes, man.
Well, what better place to enjoy it than getting a family-sized serving of fucking pasta from Buca de Beppo?
No. Buca de Beppo, here's the best part. You get Thanksgiving dinner, plus they have their like limited menu available of all their other cool stuff. So it's like you can have spaghetti plus it's fucking brilliant. It's the best thing ever. So I love Italian for Thanksgiving,
That's
awesome.
Nuts.
Italian plus Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly. And the Italians,
on
they
the
do love
road.
their Thanksgiving.
I was on the road heading to Vegas. We stopped to go walk our dog and get a little gas. I was at this Petro, and there was a restaurant attached to it called an Iron Skillet. I'd never heard of this restaurant. Have you guys heard of Iron Skillet?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
They have.
I mean, I used to live there.
Thanksgiving special that you can go tomorrow for $22.49. Get the full spread at the Iron Skillet.
Dude, there you
could
go.
be sick. It could be the place to be. I don't know.
Dude, the thing, see, I like what you're doing for the going out to eat for Thanksgiving, because like when restaurants try to do Thanksgiving food, it's never good. It is never good. Like you're just going the whole different way. Like we're actually just going to go eat Italian food, not try to do Thanksgiving food, because it's a restaurant stepping out of their comfortability zone. Like they're not going to cook Thanksgiving food on the regular, so they're doing something they're not used to be doing in the first place, right? So it's not going to be very good. In that sense.
Iron Skillet. I'll tell you what. There's a place. You're not far from Zion Canyon. Out in
Utah. I got a
used
buddy
to go there.
in Utah who's talked about going to Zion for months.
Cool. I used to go there for Thanksgiving, and I was
Really?
The Desert Pearl. Before I had kids, actually, when I got married, that's the last time I went there. We went there for our honeymoon, but we stayed at the Desert Pearl in Zion, whatever the town's called there, Springfield, I think, or Springdale. But dude, it's so awesome. But there were several restaurants there that did a Thanksgiving dinner, and they were nice.
Springdale,
That's
Utah,
not-
maybe.
Is that the name of it? But you can put Zion National Park, and there's a town right there.
Looks nice.
The Desert Pearl, man. If you could get a room there, you should start driving now. But I mean, it's
$189 a
probably
night.
booked.
The low end.
Dude, that place is so awesome.
Not terrible.
That place is awesome. You'll be
Yeah, it looks
sitting,
really cool.
Oh, the Desert Pearl is amazing. Hot tub facing the mountains.
Yeah, it's
But I
great
had-
being out here. It's so different from the Midwest. I mean, just you don't get really any trees. You do up north. I'm in Arizona and Flagstaff and stuff. That looks like Colorado, but just the desert, it's a whole different type of beauty. But I've really been enjoying kind of getting accumulated to this type of environment, and it's definitely a big change.
So
It's
Josh,
beautiful.
tell me about on your property the best place to trip mushrooms.
So what's that?
That on your property, the best place, like physically, the best place to trip mushrooms.
I never have, man.
Yeah, we're working on it.
No.
Wow.
I've been trying to. I've got a friend that says that he will hook me up, but he hasn't yet.
Okay, so theoretically, then in your judgment, where if you got an eighth of mushrooms given to you tomorrow, where would you go?
out, dude? I have right outside the door here. If you look up to the south, on a really clear night, it's amazing.
Yeah, we're out here a bit.
So the light pollution isn't as bad.
No, my cousin does have several cabins, and if they would turn their lights off ever, then it would be perfect. But my mom probably leaves her lights on too. But yeah, there's a few houses here, but we have a really nice view and really like to the south. We have a great view, and then over there, across the way. But the south it's perfect. We're gonna kind of build off to the end of our house here. We're turning our garage into a kitchen, so we can like make bulk chow. And then so as you go out it's like where the garage door was before is a wall now. It's no longer a garage door. And so if you go out, we're going to like build a like French door out, and then it'll look like a little campsite, is what our whole like concept is there, but with like outdoor cooking, our pizza kitchen. But like right there, if you look up, it's amazing. I mean, you can see amazing things. So.
Dude, we should camp out there next summer. I love coming down and going to the camp.
Oh, for sure, man. We're going to, and I'm putting in trees, like lots of trees. We're going to build a couple of little campsites, because one of the spots is going to be where I want to build a house in the future, just like a cool little like subterranean house, just a small, probably like maybe we're all hang out. When I'm old, my wife and I might live there and let the kids live here or something. But then a couple of campsites for sure.
Also on the topic of mushrooms, you told me earlier, Josh, to ask you about Melbo and why he owes you $10. Is it related to mushrooms?
No, he's a drug dealer.
Oh, okay.
His name was Mel.
Okay.
And his name was also Bo. And I don't know why, but some people called him Mel, some people called him Bo, but I called him Melbo.
And he was the pallet king of Detroit, right?
Yeah, I shouldn't be saying these things because he is a dude. He's real.
Oh, shit.
And it's the pallet
Okay.
king.
We talk about real dudes on here. I was thinking I could maybe get a concrete critic
I had
come on the
this-
podcast from
McClary Bros. We manufactured out of the Eastern Market, and it was shady. I'll tell you a story in a minute. You're not going to believe, but it's true. But Melbo owned the pallets, I guess. I don't know, man. They probably the forklift, because the other guy, Greg, he didn't own anything. He was cool, but Melbo had, and this is ridiculous because drugs are legal in Michigan, but he was still selling drugs to silly people like me that hadn't figured it out yet. Now, I eventually got my license to buy weed in Michigan, just like everybody else. It's ridiculous. You just have to go someplace, pay money, and just say, yeah, I don't feel good. But I have anxiety. But I would buy it from him just like normal, and he would give me weed in a plastic bag. But one time I owed him like $70, and I gave him 80. And I said, man, there's an extra tidbit there. And he was like, oh, I sure could use it. And he kept going. That's why I said he owes me. That's the last time I talked to him. He owes me $10. Yeah. He goes, I sure could use it. And he kept going. So there was don't ask change from a drug dealer.
No change, huh?
I looked at my wife who's sitting in the car next to me. I was like, did you see that?
That's funny. I mean, you'd think, they definitely have enough cash typically on hand to break a bill, but
dude, he wasn't going to give me any change ever.
Did we have any Thanksgiving?
He was
topics?
making fun of me.
Oh, Thanksgiving topics. I mean, traditionally, Thanksgiving for at least us being, kind of college age gentlemen, maybe getting a little older now, can maybe recollect or reminisce is the word I was looking for, on our times coming back into Bloomington, or just kind of getting back in the season and seeing everyone before the holidays. You guys have any good
the old blackout Wednesday
stories, the old blackout Wednesdays?
Dude, it's not a good story, but last blackout Wednesday, I definitely ended up with Matt Tobin at Night Moves, and it was as great and disappointing as you would expect. Like it was because it's like because there are no good strippers from Bloomington that end up being strippers. It's not none of all the hot girls are out doing different stuff.
They're in
So it was like a really sad
Chicago.
People, yeah, exactly. Like people that come to Bloomington and they're not going to go home for Thanksgiving. So they're just working the Wednesday night shift and Night Moves, which I'm sure is actually pretty fruitful.
I'm just trying to catch up. You're on Night Moves on a Wednesday?
Yeah.
Well, only the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
That's the only. Is it busy?
Yeah, definitely. Because that's like
awesome.
So
that's awesome.
Those who don't know, the Wednesday.
I never made it there. I was always so drunk. My friends would be like, "We're going to Night Moves." I can't make it. Then like lots of expeditions went there, but I never thought about that.
You're not you didn't miss much. Let me just tell you. But it is a strip club in Bloomington, so there's that. But yeah, so I mean, Wednesday night before Thanksgiving is the #1 night in America for DUIs. So there's that. So like, it's a busy bar night, right? And gang.
Hell yeah, dude.
So it was fun, but every time you go to Night Moves, like I never. Actually, I've came from a great story of Night Moves one time, and that was when I got a shirt from Night Moves. And I got it signed by all the strippers, which I still have to this day, by the way. That's still a great memento. But no, I mean, I'm trying to think. Maybe I don't have any great stories from Blackout Wednesday because of the name Blackout Wednesday.
Yeah, I know the last one that I had.
I just remember being like miserably hungover on Thanksgiving and like not doing as much as I want to.
It was always really funny coming back or not. I was always in town, I guess, but seeing everyone else kind of come back and kind of talk to the people that you never really that close friends with. Oh, dude, what are you doing? I don't care. Like, let's get fucked up. And I remember, I think it was maybe 2018. I got real drunk at Kilroy's and left my Michael Kors or Calvin Klein man purse. And I left it there behind the bar because I had to go dance. I had to go hit the moves out. And I woke up at my house, just didn't remember where I put it. So I remember getting a Lime scooter, getting the bag back, and then scootering all the way back to my mom's house from downtown Bloomington. And that was a pretty funny hungover morning of a retrieval.
Wait, you literally got on a scooter and went from
my apartment to Kilroy's to Hyde Park.
Oh, okay. I thought I mean, you still went from fucking Roy's to Hyde Park. Like,
I was grinding, bro. It was like 3.5 miles. I was like, hell yeah, dude. Going 20. It's just like a rainy 40-degree Indiana morning in fucking November.
Just head's kind of pounding a little bit, like not quite fully hungover.
Healthy.
Oh God, it ruined so many Thanksgivings. What about you, Josh?
Is it okay if I leave this here?
Huh?
Is it okay if I leave this here? Or should
Yeah, I mean, the closer the better.
For me, I guess the best times were in Chicago because we would rip it to pieces. You know what I mean? At Wednesday night, everybody's excited because, of course, right? Everyone's going to do what they do the next day. So I can remember being just deliriously drunk, on like fucking out of my mind on Chicago. And I was flying to New Orleans the next morning. And my family doesn't even live in New Orleans anymore. I'm still going to New Orleans to hang out with my best friend's family because their food is better. And I would like show up. I remember waking up one time and being like, I want to be in New Orleans. I'm going to have to get on that plane. And my fucking brain is like, there's a brick inside my head. And I'm still drunk, I mean, it's like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. You're at the bar. The flight's at 7. Why'd you even lay down? And I went and I got there and I remember getting there and I remember my mom's friend just being like, you stink, in New Orleans. Like I'm at her house, I'm in a bar in Chicago at 4 a.m. and I'm at her house at whatever, like 11. And they're getting ready to drink. And she's like, how are you already drunk? I'm like, I'm still drunk, and it was like, what am I, 23, 24,
Yeah.
Spirit Airlines around?
What's that?
Was Spirit Airlines around back then? Did you fly Spirit?
No.
Damn.
Spirit is like Vegas, if I remember. I definitely have done some Spirit. This would have been, dude, it was so easy to fly out of Chicago, though. It was nothing. You know what I mean? It was so many flights.
Well, what year are we talking here? And also, Josh, how old are you? Because I cannot get a gauge. I would get
49.
Say what?
49.
Okay, cool.
So this would have been the year 2003, roughly.
Okay.
Roughly. Yeah. 2, 3 kind of thing. Like I graduated. Let me think about this. I graduated smoking reefer, having fun with the class of 91. So this would have been roughly, God, is this 2001? This might be before that. This is probably right, like 10-year mark. I feel like it might have been before that.
Pre 9/11, post 9/11.
Well, it's post 9/11, but right after 9/11. Let's put
Right
it that
after.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking. But
Glory days.
that's my Chicago to New Orleans days. And that'd be kind of, I mean, like I had to grow up, and so like going back to my best friend's parents' house didn't keep, working out. And so I started going to my mommy's house and then whatever, but no, the best times are New Orleans. And so when I was really young, when my parents still lived down there, and then especially like the year after I graduated, or the year after I went to IU for 1 year and they came back, that year, like 18, going back, that was phenomenal. Going back, because New Orleans was like, you're 18, you can go to the bars. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you're down there drinking. It's Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, and you can get completely blitzed. So
Dude, I feel like New Orleans before cell phones was on a whole nother level. It was probably way more fun.
tell me about cell phones. Like, I don't know about cell phones in New Orleans, but like you're talking about the time frame back then.
Yeah, and just I don't know. I feel like people are more tame now that you can always be on video. Maybe not as much as I think, but I think it makes everything worse.
Dude, I feel like Vegas
Cool.
is the same way. Like Vegas pre-cell phone, and like everything, like nothing was recorded, like the truly like everything stays here type mentality. Like I feel like that's what it really was about.
Yeah, I don't do a lot these days. I don't really do a bunch of crazy shit anymore. This, you know what I mean? I don't have any, I don't think there's a bunch of video of me doing crazy shit, but there would be if I was about 20 years.
Oh wait, Josh, what's the pig story from today? Because I got it over text, but I didn't really even understand it. Is it
Yeah.
R-rated?
Yeah, the sexually active pigs.
What do you mean?
what do you mean?
No, we can talk about anything.
I mean, it's real. It's what
It's
happened.
fucking real.
It's
Exactly.
it's the anatomy of a pig. I don't know shit about, I mean, I don't know a lot about pig wieners. Let's put it that way.
I heard they're corkscrewy. Or no, that's duck wieners. Duck
Yeah,
Till
wieners.
it's duck
today,
pigs.
this pig has been acting weird, but it's got 8 babies, 4 female, 4 male, and I don't know. It doesn't seem interested in the female anymore right now. I don't know what's going on, but it was literally like standing over one of its young female daughters or whatever, and they don't care. Pigs don't care, and it's just like humping into the air. And my wife goes, "Oh my God, are you looking at that?" And I was like, "What?" There's not a great recording of it. I might find there's something nasty for sure, but like it comes out like a finger and it just starts growing and growing and it's pink and disgusting. And it's maybe bigger than my finger, but it's growing like, Pinocchio's nose. And at the end, it's disgusting. And I'm like, what's going on? And it's just doing it into the air over this pig. It's just like taking a nap on the ground.
No.
Like from the wrong angle too, right? Like from the side.
It's just in the air over it. You know what I mean? Like it's like
That's big.
it's and the pig's like just laying there, like not really paying, and then it just blows it everywhere. It's fucking disgusting.
Wait, he actually, oh no.
That was enough. That's all he needed right there.
Yeah, he was plugged up.
A little bit of air pressure, a little bit of wind. Hey,
And he's huge, and he's got this big scruffy. You know what I mean? Like he's got this like
Right.
mohawk.
Dude, and before I started coming here, like I sort of had sympathy for pigs. I was like, man, I couldn't kill a pig, and I couldn't kill a baby pig. But when they get old and fat, dude, fuck them. Like, just kill them and eat them because they're disgusting. Like,
You know what that tastes like. I mean, you can tell yourself, you know what that tastes like,
yep.
and that's a big chunk of that. So
Yeah.
let's get
I
at
mean,
it.
in Texas, you can kill pigs with machine guns from a helicopter if you
Wow.
want to. You can pay for that.
We'll see.
That is gas
Yeah.
powered though, so I feel like that
They've
wouldn't be your
got-
vibe, Josh. A little too violent.
They've got all kinds of problems out there though, because boar aren't great. They've got too
No.
many boar, and they've got. So we cut the balls off. There's a whole story there.
Yeah.
My wife's a champion. My wife cut the balls off of these pigs. I held them down, and she just cut the balls off and ripped them out. It was rough.
So So she pitched to Mark Cuban, cut pig balls off. I would like to read her autobiography, honestly.
No, she won't be writing it
because she's fucking cool.
but she is cool. You could talk to her.
Yeah.
But
man.
the pig thing is amazing. I mean, they're great. I mean, so the pigs are walking around, scratching up the land and laying down fertilizer. That's kind of what they do, and we're going to eat them too. But you kind of want to keep them moving, and you want to keep them moving over wet ground. So that's what we're fighting now is the wet. But
I want to like emphasize why they can be so gross and why you want to eat them. Josh has a part-time job at the local elementary school, and he gets like all the food waste and all the wasted milk, and will take like a 5-gallon bucket, a 5-gallon bucket of spoiled chocolate milk that's been like sitting outside for I don't even know how.
Well, until it turns into it turns into cheese. I just gave him a bunch.
Thick cheese. Chocolate milk, and you just dump it on the ground.
Well, I don't leave it outside, but you know what I mean. Room temperature.
Give them the schlop.
Dude, they gobble it up like it's
they love it, dude.
I gave him the water from it today, and it's like it's not horrible smelling, but something's not right. Of course, it's like the output, and they just it's like all over their faces. And I'm looking at it, I'm like,
and that turns into bacon. Go fucking figure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sausage, whole hog sausage.
Yeah.
But we got to keep them moving. As long as we have rain, it all works out. And the chickens move around with them. And so,
all right, boys, to pivot, I did want to hit on a scumbag of the week, a really interesting one. This is going to be a total script flip from what we've been talking about, from farm talk to elite fashion brand pedophilia undertones.
Totally fine, and I want you to do that. Do we want Farley to join now or after this? I just wanted to ask that real quick.
Actually, if T-Far is available, we should get him on because I'm sure he's aware of this. I'd love to get his take. If not, then no worries.
I think he is. Go ahead.
Yeah, I love that we've gotten Thomas Farley to come on every single episode of this podcast so far.
Can somebody explain to Josh quickly who Thomas Farley is?
I'll give him the short spiel.
Please.
So Eli introduced me to Thomas Farley when I was going to Colorado for spring break and needed some place to stay. He's his old roommate that he met at CSU. Thomas Farley is an early cryptocurrency adopter. He's a very boisterous and funny individual with just questionable stories and just very interesting opinions where you don't really know where the conversation and the joke begins or ends. Without further ado, Thomas Farley.
Perfect. In our last 2 episodes ago, Thomas Farley shared a story about hooking up with a ghost.
Yeah, he has a ghost hookup story.
After tripping on mushrooms.
Yes.
Well,
That's
all right.
awesome.
So the highs and lows of this. So are you guys familiar with?
Wait, is Thomas Farley here?
He's
connecting to audio, so hopefully here in a second.
Just wait for him to pop in because I don't see him yet at all. Oh, there we go.
T.
All right, sorry.
T.
Welcome to episode 5, apparently.
Are the audio issues continuing?
We can't hear you, Farley.
Can't hear you, brother.
My name is Jeff.
All right, Zach, why don't you pitch this scumbag of the week? You were kind of just giving it out to us.
Yeah. So have you guys caught wind at all about Balenciaga's ad campaign recently?
No,
nothing.
I literally saw there was news about Balenciaga, but I didn't know about the drama.
So they pitched this really, really weird ad campaign that basically featured a bunch of children in their rooms with their toys all laid out. And it seemed like the product was this bear, but the bear is in this like really weird bondage gear. I'm going to show you guys just pictures of the initial campaign and just to kind of get your thoughts on that first.
Sure.
All right. I
hate Balenciaga for what it's worth,
All right. I don't think this is going to share quite as well as I want it to.
It's a fashion brand. I'm out of touch too.
Yeah. So how well can you guys see?
I don't like that picture, dude.
So
Dude,
you can see the kid
nuts.
here. And I wish I could zoom in on the bear more. I will in a later picture, but it's wearing like straight up bondage gear, right? And there's like weird shit on the table. This is the campaign. There's the bear.
This is for the sad kids. For the sad kids.
Dude, it's so fucking weird. Big shoes on. This one's the weirdest. We'll get into this one a little bit more later, but like I'm trying to zoom in a little bit on the picture, but like it's not.
Copy it and put it into Paint. That's the best way to do it.
Here,
Are you on a Mac?
I'll do the little
The
snip.
whole thing is very strange.
Yeah, I don't like.
Oh, dude, it's bizarre.
Where's it? It's like, yeah, it'd be like a weird planet.
Here we go. I'm liking this.
Shoes, man.
We'll save
those
as.
shoes. You see those shoes?
Actually, I'll just
Yeah, I'm actually a fan of when I'm looking at some of these items. I like those sunglasses, for
You're
example.
kind of wanting to buy some Balenciaga now.
All right, can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. Oh,
All right, so
I'm
there's some weird
scared.
shit going on here, like
What the fuck?
Look at the BB now. What's this necklace?
the red shoe, like the
I
chair
like
at the
that.
tape, like the mask, like this
What's
will
going
get
on
highlighted
here?
later, but like there's a really weird paint like picture in the background. Like he didn't draw that.
No.
This is very strange.
It's so weird. So let me. And then
They
let me
need to
just-
get this kid on Adderall. Look at his drawing.
I mean,
Like,
look at it.
He's not
oh, he's
getting
wearing
enough
the
Adderall.
campaign,
I- yeah, I
ass
can-
campaign hoodie, bro. Fuck that Balenciaga campaign hoodie.
And
Dude,
I can-
What's
I
the
can
candle in the can? The candle in the can.
Like this is fucking weird, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
yeah.
Like
strange.
they unironically posted this on their Instagram. These like 4 photos. I think there's a
Okay,
couple
so
more.
then what happened? What were people saying?
a lot of shit. So basically, like just saying like, hey, this is so fucking wrong. And then the shit starts popping off, like all the conspiracies, connections, like all this shit. So the first one that we want to talk about. So okay, so the photographer for these photos is like this really questionable, like very woke on his ideology, like the type of like
French
like
leftist.
like children should be able to give consent like adults type of deal. This is one of his social media posts. I'll just leave that there. This is the
Wait, what
photographer.
do you say?
It says,
Oh.
why restrict child porn but not guns? And a video of him walking over a thing of guns. This was the photographer. So it seems to be in that same vein of like, this falls into like the elite, like all the elites are pedophiles, like type of conspiracy talk. But like, this is fucking weird. Like that's the photographer on it.
It
I think
starts
there's
with
some more stuff under
Balenciaga,
here.
huh? Or that's one of the arms.
Yeah. Okay. So here's some close up. Okay, this is great from the Twitter. Like people are just like getting the screenshots of stuff and just like making
Oh, that's
connections.
weird.
Okay, one of the
Zoom
bears.
in on the teddy bear, because like this could be a direct like calling for help potential. Like go 2 images to the right. I want to see this image.
Yeah,
You want me to zoom in
I-
on that a little bit more?
I'd love
Yeah,
that.
on the actual drawing, because kids they draw things, and usually it could be a nightmare that they've had, or it could be
Could be shadow people.
this looks like a shadow person.
Shit.
With the red face?
Yeah, that looks like a
Dude.
demon.
100%. Well,
Yeah.
that's what people are saying, dude. People are saying like, oh, this is like a direct connect to satanic cult worshipers and shit like that. Like I don't believe this is like what a kid drew. This looks like what an adult would draw, acting like they're a
Looking
kid
like a
drawing
kid.
something.
Which is also so weird. The idea that someone was tasked with that as a part of the Balenciaga promotion, like, what the fuck, dude?
Weird,
What?
dude. Super fucking weird. And then people are making connections. Like apparently a white bunny has some sort of symbolism. And here are all the candles and cans. That seems ritualistic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that ain't right.
Here's a picture. Yeah, that's what you're looking for earlier. They're saying like this is like a connection with some devil worshiping stuff.
That little
That
kid
could be
lives there
fake, I
too.
agree.
What do they
He's
do
gonna
with the
eat
red
Apparently red
shoes?
shoes.
lunch
I mean,
and dinner there.
I don't know.
Those
the red
shoes
shoes
are-
look fine.
I guess, dude.
Sure, I don't fuck with
Where do
that.
you get shoes like that?
Oh, and I like this one because apparently the Balenciaga and the tape that was mentioned was spelled on it with 2 A's. Apparently there's a demon named Ball. I don't know. People make connections, dude.
Hey,
I love
Um,
Twitter.
All right. So yeah, we talked about that. Okay. So shit starts to get pretty fucking okay. This is just their apology. Basically, they posted this on their Instagram shortly after.
we're sorry.
Oh yeah, it says we're taking legal actions against the parties responsible for creating the set and including unapproved items for our spring campaign. So they're basically saying like,
Whoa.
we didn't approve our ad campaign.
Whoopsie.
We're taking legal
Yeah.
action against the guys who did it. Whatever. But they're standing behind that like they're plush bears. Oh yeah, they say they're plush bears.
Yeah,
should
we're
not have
still
been
selling that fucking bear.
Yeah,
it's,
they're-
and it's
Shouldn't have-
$850, and you're gonna buy it. Fucking
We
lose.
have an inventory. They
Fuck
have inventory.
Balenciaga, bro.
They
They
need to move it.
released destroyed sneakers that literally when I say distressed, I mean these shoes were destroyed for
Hey,
$1,000 each.
The endangering kids stuff and pedophilia symbology is one thing, but selling destroyed shoes, that's crossing the
Pish
line.
posh.
Yeah, that's too much.
I mean, pish posh for the child stuff. I mean, they're selling destroyed sneakers. What are they thinking? Anyway.
This stuff just gets better and better. I liked this one. So here's
Oh
just
my
another
God.
photo that they had get out.
God.
Ugh.
So at least she's of age, but are you guys tuned into like the black
That's
eye initiation thing, like in the conspiracy world?
No.
No.
So basically, Thomas Farley, you are.
No, I'm not actually.
So basically, like there's pictures of like all these elites with black eyes. It's like at some point or another, basically the theory is that getting a black eye is some sort of initiation to whatever Illuminati elitist cult that you're a part of. I wonder what Google will give me for this.
It's a 6 too. It looks like a 6 on her face.
I've seen the humiliation part of the Illuminati. So
Yes,
like,
exactly.
you shave your eyebrows, you get a black eye.
Who is punching them?
Who's hitting them?
The Pope.
Let's see. There's some good ones on here.
I love a meme like that. I love conspiracy memes. They have a certain flavor to them. There's always like a very low quality of images. It's very like they're using a different internet almost.
Dude, so funny. So anywho, that I didn't know if that was part of it or not. That was connection, I thought, but like fucking weird, obviously. Okay.
Wait,
so
hold on. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, it takes another level after this. If you had something to say.
Oh, keep going.
All right. So basically, from another post on theirs, and this is from their Twitter earlier, or their Instagram earlier, like this is a pic probably like 3 or 4 posts before the one with this campaign, was this one. And what I want you guys to notice is this name right here, Michael Borman. And basically, Michael Borman is this artist that would create these weird fucking pictures with kids. This is one of Michael Borman's paintings right here. To the right, like weird with kids, like in these gory environments. I think this maybe shows a little bit more.
Yep.
Oh, it just shows how it's still on there. Yeah, there's Michael Borman right there. All right, sorry. Early hours of November. Get this out here.
I can hear that. Yeah, you just muted it though.
No, I just want you guys to see the pictures.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of his work. Oh, this isn't even. I don't want to Google his stuff because it's. Oh, there it is, dude. This is some of Michael Borman's work. The picture that was just like on that headline.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I mean, literally, like right there is the headline on there. Like, again, this is all just like digging into shit that's like right there on Balenciaga's Instagram page. So
it's strange.
They're very strange. And also too, well, actually, no, that's it for now. But like,
actually have a higher level to this conspiracy with
dude,
Kanye's departure from Balenciaga.
Say what?
Kanye's departure from Balenciaga.
That's a great point. I was going to bring that up.
Point.
Fucking you take that.
Yeah, I mean, he left. I know his best friend, right, or one of his best friends is like the head designer. They cannot come to an accord, so he left Balenciaga. It could be over something like this. I know Kanye was involved in this direction, that's for sure.
Well, no. A huge part of this is Kim Kardashian is a major model for Balenciaga.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, definitely.
Well, and in that world too, like you get into, I mean, the Kardashians with like Travis Scott, and then what happened with Travis Scott concert this past summer. Like you could fucking connect the dots. Like I get how
there's some 50-minute YouTube videos that be connecting a lot of dots.
100%, dude.
I personally love those videos, even though they sound fucking crazy.
Well, dude, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a really fine line you got to walk between like what's actually fucking real and then like shit like this. But like at the end of the day, you cannot see those pictures that Balenciaga posted and be like, oh, that's okay, that's normal, and see all the other shit. Oh, one other thing too, with the original 4 posts, one of the desks there had like a bunch of papers on, and one was like a court case for a major pedophilia and media case, basically like what would be considered child pornography and what would be considered not on the internet. Like that was a court document from that case on one of the pictures. So like that's fucking obvious, dude. Like that's fucking weird.
It's a little on the nose. It's like I wonder if there's always this thing about are elites hiding and marking the fact that they are pedophiles? Some people think there's these symbols they leave behind in their art, and I've never understood why. Is like, do they want these people that get freaking manic and obsessive over them to follow them down the rabbit trail? I don't really understand what their end goal is.
So here's the theory on
interesting.
the elites being pedophiles, in terms of, okay, if you join this club, this elite membership, how are we going to keep you from basically divulging our secrets? Oh, we're going to have you be involved in something heinous, for example, pedophilia.
Right. But why would they then like make it clear that they're doing that in a Balenciaga ad campaign? To me, it doesn't make any sense. But
it's not that clear though.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's
I
like
think it's just
subtle.
a subtle fuck you almost, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I have a clarifying question. Does Balenciaga sell children's clothes and apparel?
Yes.
Probably. Yeah.
Likely.
Okay.
I'd say likely.
Okay. So that could give like
No, they 100%
credence
do.
to either side. Okay. I had no idea.
I mean, clearly they had this ad campaign with bears that were just like directly marketed towards children, like bondage bears. These things were in fucking bondage, dude.
Yeah.
No, it's super disgusting. I don't like that. And they need to get back on the fucking farm, in my opinion.
I've got a question
designers.
For the boys. At what age do you think you should be able to choose your gender?
Oh God. Jesus.
Just out of right field, bro.
Do you mean choose your gender, or do you mean like medically do something about it to choose your gender?
Basically both.
Well,
basically both.
Basically both.
So basically the latter.
Basically the latter.
I would say 18 voting age. I really would.
18. Yeah.
I would say 14.
I'll go with 3.5.
3.5.
Eli took the under.
Dude, it's tough. I would say you would need a lot of counseling involved. You need a lot of doctors, and you need this child to be serious about what they're doing. But I don't really know. I don't have a kid, so I couldn't make that decision until that was a situation. But
18. I'm saying 18.
18.
Do you think third grade teachers should be able to choose your child's gender?
Yes.
Only if they've had a sex change.
Only if they're cool. Only if they work for Balenciaga.
What is like really nice?
Depends if they have gigantic fake knockers. If they do and they're nice and they show me those knockers, then yeah, probably.
If
like,
they
hey, like, can we have a meeting after school? She's just calling the parents. Hey, I think your son is actually a girl.
I would say, okay, cool. Show me your giant fake knockers, dude. And if they did, then I'd be like, all right, he's a girl.
Yeah, and he's coming home with some with new Balenciaga 2023 collection.
Yeah.
Supplied by the state.
Wouldn't it be awesome if there was like a federal law that third grade teachers decided and like that was the cutoff? It gave them like an outrageous amount of power for something like that.
But that would drive the salaries for teachers.
Everyone.
Like the teacher job would be elementary school teacher would be the most in demand job in the country. All of a sudden,
be elite.
Certain demographic.
They're wearing body cams now too.
Yeah,
body cams for the teachers.
Teacher body cams. God damn, boys.
Yeah, but for that reason, Balenciaga is my scumbag of the week. That was pretty fucking scummy.
Yeah. Fuck that company, man. I hate them. I had made a whole YouTube video about how I hate Balenciaga.
Did you talk about how they're pedophiles?
I'm going to now.
That's right.
Damn right.
Damn right.
So Tom, while we have you here, can we get the fucking tip of the day and then maybe some sports betting? I want to see what's happening for Turkey Day football.
I don't have the tarot cards up here in the mountains currently, but
it's okay.
I can flip a coin for you.
Hey, we'll get to that. Yeah.
Another good way to gamble is literally just flipping a coin on the money line.
Yeah, that's dope. I'm here in Vegas right now, outside of it, so I might have to hit the casinos.
Yeah, you should. I feel like you should be recording this from a gas station. It looks like you're in a Starbucks parking lot.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of parking lot people. Josh was talking for a long time, but I was really seeing some critters. I saw a guy smoking a cig, no hands, on a bike. That seemed
Love
cool.
that.
I mean, what's
Okay,
what's
so
he
I
up to?
actually need to because you guys do a critter of the week, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I'm gonna
haven't had
try
one
it.
yet.
I'm gonna try and interview this guy because I see him on Pro Street all the time, and he's just fucking gaming Call of Duty online from his computer, from his laptop, just a homeless man. I would love to get that guy an interview and maybe Doge Gamer.
Wait, he's
sponsor him,
literally
for sure.
gaming?
He just games. He just literally just has his controller. He's got
They
his
have
laptop
homeless
set up.
gamers. That's amazing, bro.
A homeless gamer. So
That's a huge development for the culture.
Oh, it's a great part of the culture. I mean, you can game outside, ladies and gentlemen. So, and
That's fucking
you
fascinating.
don't need to pay rent. You don't need to pay rent as a gamer. You can technically just go out there with your laptop, hook up.
Dude, we need to get this guy fucking sponsored. We need a fucking
Yeah, for
esports team
sure.
to pick this guy up, dude. What if
I
TSM
agree.
grabs him or like FaZe Clan?
Yeah, I feel like he's probably pretty good. Honestly, I feel like that's all he does.
Hardened by the
Yeah.
streets. He's probably got terrible latency. He's playing on Wi-Fi. Oh,
Homeless
Yeah.
gamer.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Next time I see that guy, I'm gonna give him $20 and hire him for a 20-minute interview.
Yeah, 100%.
But tip of the day,
Tip of the
I think
day.
this especially applies to Thanksgiving. But be the problem, cause problems, but also be the solution.
fair enough, dude. I like it. Well, I don't think there could be any better place to end off this episode of the Goblin and the Ghoul. Josh, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, Josh, that was a fascinating
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's been a really fun time. Thomas, always a pleasure for you too. We can still talk a little bit. I just need to get going, guys, because it is, 7:30 for me, and it's probably what, 9:30 for you?
9:30.
Yeah.
Be
don't
the problem
forget-
and the solution. That's fucking profound. Let me just one more thing on that. You cause problems, maybe known or not, and then you solve them, and then you get credit for solving them. That's what people are going to remember.
Here's another one. That kind of is parallel.
Well, we get a twofer. Or we get a two for tips.
You
with
get
Tom?
twofer. You get twofer. That's kind of parallel. Make them ask questions. Sell them the answers. Yeah.
That's live.
Tommy
We need to
G.
put together a book. Just tips of the day.
This is the day. 100%. I have a catalog. So
Dude, you need a calendar, bro. Get them for all
Yeah.
next year. So every day you can just flip them.
Every
Just
day,
fucking,
tip.
let's tip of the day.
Yeah,
Change
honestly, I
lives.
should sell a calendar.
Unreal.
Great idea.
DogeGamer.com, dadpenis.com.
All right, boys.
Check it out.
All
We
right.
did it again.
Daddicks.com, actually.
Penis
it is.
dad.
Peace.
See you guys.
Later, gamers.
See you guys.
Bye.
Hey, that's pretty good.